Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am glad that you have chosen to join me for today's reading as we look into the cards for insight for love. Please know this video is timeless, so whenever you have chosen to click on it to watch or listen, it is meant for you at that point in your journey. Also note this is a general reading, so there are going to be messages that may not connect with your situation, so please feel free to let that go. If there are messages or signs or symbols that do resonate with you and your situation, I would encourage you to be open to processing that information. Before we look into the cards, let's focus on our breathing. As you inhale and exhale, release any tension or tightness that you may be feeling in your body. As you inhale and exhale, allow your mind to settle, to calm, and release any chaos or busyness or heavy burdens that are on your mind or heart. And as you breathe in and breathe out, you can ask the universe or source if there are any signs or symbols for you to see and receive. And as you're breathing, allow your body to settle into the position that you have chosen for this reading. And let's begin. I'll be using both tarot and oracle and guidance cards for today's reading. If you're interested in any of that information, please feel free to look in the description box below. We're going to start with our tarot cards. Our first is 5 of Arrows, which is swords. Next we have King of Bows, which is wands. $19, the Sun, which is a major arcana. And on here, the illustration says the Sun of Life, S-U-N. Next, we have another major arcana, the Ancestor, which is the Hierophant. Next, we have the 6 of Bows, which is wands. We have 9 of stones, which is pentacles. Queen of stones, which is pentacles as well. And Queen of Vessels, which is cups. So we definitely, what's standing out right off the bat are the 2 major arcana side by side. If you're new to my channel, if we have more than 2 major arcana in a reading, it is definitely a message to draw our attention and focus on those in particular cards, but the reading as well. If they're side by side, there's importance with that as well. So there are 2 major arcanas in our reading. There are 2 queens. So if you have presented a question in regards to gaining insight on love, know that you are the queen. You are one that has inner strength. You are one that has inner beauty, inner courage. That definitely stands out with those 2 cards, and it's interesting that they're at the end of our reading too. So in the tarot cards, really initiating that power is what I'm sensing at this point. So let's go through our tarot cards. The first one is 5 of Swords. So it could be right now that in your relationship, and again, if you're newer to my channel, when I speak of relationships, it's platonic, romantic, family, work, as well. So you'll know what it means to you and how it connects to your situation. So when we're thinking of Five of Swords, it definitely is conflict. It could be conflict with self, not always with someone else. So maybe you are doing some inner reflection and it is stirring up something within you that the Five of Swords is specifically in the area of love is encouraging you to push through. Continue to dive into that area that wants to bubble forth. Know that you are strong. I'm being drawn to those queens as well, that you are strong, that you can address what it is within your heart or your mind, your soul, your spirit that needs to be kind of, I see an onion peeled back and addressed so that you can be your truest self, your most authentic self, so that when you move into love, or if you're already in a relationship or a very close friendship, that you are able to give more of yourself, that you can be true to yourself, and also the benefits that that would reap in a relationship. It could be as well with the Five of Swords that maybe there's arguing. You can see here that the ram is being sought after with the hunter. The arrows are coming at all sides. So it could be that you just feel stressed right now. Maybe you're not in a love relationship at this point and you are stressed about that fact. You can see too, behind the ram or goat, forgive me if it's the wrong one, is the sun. You can see the ray of sunshine, the brightness, the light. So what I'm sensing is definitely hold on. Don't allow that stress to engulf you. If you are in arguments, seek a solution, seek a compromise. And definitely with those sunbeams, the forward motion of the animal, is it worth winning? If you are in a place of disagreement, maybe not full-on arguments, but just in a disagreement, a difference of opinion, two different views, is it worth holding on to that perspective to win? What would it look like for you to compromise? What would it look like for you to open your mind and heart to receive other information or a different perspective? It doesn't mean that you have to automatically believe it, but starting out our reading on Insight for Love, there is that strong message coming through to consider compromise, consider solutions, consider seeing, being willing to listen to another perspective. Next, we have the King of Wands. Interesting, the illustration here is the snake. There's different meanings that represent the snake, but when we think of the King of Wands, if you are one who presented a question of who it is that will come into your life, who is one that you may need to choose if you are in the dating field and maybe you are trying to make a decision between two individuals. The King of Wands definitely represents one of maturity, one that has that leader energy, that has that magnetism, that is willing to take responsibility of their actions, willing to, again, coming back to that Five of Swords, see both sides of the coin. So it could be that there is an individual that is going to be coming into your life. If there is an individual that is a choice between two, this card here is encouraging you to consider that. And what I'm receiving is, even if it's not the complete package, because you see the snake above striking, it's single, it's alone, it's away from, you know, the group that it's pursuing. So often we want everybody with the complete package, but the King of Wands is really calling us that, do they have that maturity, that stability, that magnetic energy, or just energy, love for life is what I'm sensing as well too. That those other areas that we think are lacking, unless they're glaring or red flags. That's not what I'm speaking of. But going back to that whole package, is it something that can grow? Is it something in that individual that can develop? Because the King of Wands very strongly is coming through to really look into that person who would be, I'm sensing, the other half to you. Maybe it is one where you need someone to kind of give you that energy, to kind of light the fire for you, to reignite you. Maybe right now in love you have separated, going back to that conflict right now. Maybe you're not speaking on good terms. Maybe you've even broken up and you are wondering who the individual might be like, or what that individual might be like. And the King of Wands is definitely saying, look for someone that would do that for you, to really light the fire for you. Just share that energy with you. And it's interesting, it's next to our card, which is a major arcana, the Sun itself. And the Sun is definitely one of that self-confidence, of success, of good fortune. Definitely has support from the universe or higher power, spirit, whatever it is that you align with. The Sun is here to represent, and it's interesting, it's right behind that King of Wands. It's supporting the messages that are there with the King of Wands, that you are seeking that. Maybe you aren't aware that is something that would benefit you in a relationship. Maybe going back to that, it's not always a conflict with someone else. It could be inner conflict. Is self-confidence something in love that you need to gain, that you need to reflect upon? Is it something that warmth of the sun, you can see the light coming from the heart of this individual represented in this illustration? Is there something you need to pursue, whether it's talking to a friend, reading a book, listening to podcasts on how to have that self-confidence so that that heart is warm? It's just bursting with light and energy and love to give to someone else. Again, whether it's romantic, platonic, it could be a work relationship that needs that energy, a family relationship as well. Because my eye is just being drawn back to the light that is coming through the individual's heart. And again, it's a major arcana. So there is support as well from spirit, universe, higher power, drawing your attention to the messages that are within the message of the tarot of the Sun, and also those that have come forth before. Next, we have the Hierophant. And again, definitely coming right behind that Sun, the major arcana of the Sun. The ancestor or the Hierophant definitely represents that stability, that alliance of beliefs, that connection. The could represent marriage as well. Maybe you are wondering, you've proposed the question if marriage is in the cards. This could be an indicator of that for you. It's interesting. My eye is being drawn to, in this illustration of the Hierophant, the snow. So possibly winter. But that the individual is on a journey, it seems like. So what I'm sensing is, are you ready for marriage? Do your beliefs align? Where you want your relationship to go? I'm sensing finances, children, where to live, what careers to remain in or to move into. Do those things align? With that snow, you know, so snow sometimes is hard to walk through. So is your foundation firm? Is there something that maybe you need to reflect upon before entering into marriage? And the fact that this is a major arcana is definitely calling us to the messages that are represented in the Hierophant. So with the Hierophant as well, It could be that right now in a relationship, some traditions are being shaken. My eyes being drawn back to the Five of Swords. So maybe, again, with that new perspective, is there something that you need to compromise on in your relationship? Again, a friendship. It could be maybe the friend wants to do something and you're not sure because your traditions say, oh, well, I've always done it this way. Your patterns have said, well, I've always done it this way. Could be a relationship, could be family as well. So the Hierophant may be calling you to consider that. What does that look like? And I'm definitely sensing, what is it that you fear losing if you made that decision to compromise or let go of some of those patterns or traditions? And you'll know what that means for you, friends. Next, we have the Six of Bows, which is Wands. So again, another positive, strong card for love, my friends. The Six of Wands is one of confidence, one of good news and success. So the Sun, the Hierophant, and the Six of Wands are back to back. So there are positive things coming your way in your relationships. There's positive things coming your way in love. Again, whether you're single, whether you are in a relationship, going back to what compromises are needed, what perspectives are needed, because there's positive outcomes with the two major arcana and the Six of Wands being right here in the middle of the reading as well. There's positive outcomes to us being willing to open our hearts and minds. And compromise isn't weakness. I know society often says it is. It isn't. It actually is a sign of strength. When you really sit with that, compromising is saying, I love you enough, or I care about you enough to let go of my pride and compromise, or meet in the middle, whatever word you're comfortable with that concept. So there's a lot of positivity that can come from that. So I'm being drawn back to the King here as well, with that maturity, the person who is mature, that I'm sensing that natural born leader. There's positives in making that choice. Or maybe, again, with that journey, that maybe you need to do some more reflection so that you can be that mature person, so that you would have that ability to take responsibility if there's an error made on your part, because it will provide success and benefits and confidence and healthiness in a relationship. Next, we have the Nine of Stones, which is Pentacles. Another positive card representing prosperity, stability in finances, wisdom. You can see here the individual is meditating, seeking from the universe, higher power, spirit, taking that time to reflect, connecting with nature, connecting with oneself, quieting the mind, the heart, the spirit. So there's wisdom to be gained when we do that. Maybe right now, one of your questions was, should you talk to somebody? Maybe there is something going on in your relationship. You're not sure how to handle it. There's nothing wrong with asking someone else's opinion. So the Nine of Pentacles could be encouraging you to do that. There's confidence there with the Nine of Pentacles as well. Like I said, success. Maybe there's good news. Maybe you presented a question of, will there be marriage? Will there be financial stability? And the Nine of Pentacles represents that. It also could be in your relationship that you need to seek that. Are you overspending? Are you in debt? Are you living beyond your means? And the Nine of Pentacles would call you to have wisdom, to choose differently, because when we allow ourselves to become financially shackled, that definitely can affect a relationship. Next, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So another positive card, friends. There's a lot of positive cards. So whenever you are listening to this, there is a lot of energy coming your way. The universe, higher power, spirit is in support of you. With the Queen of Pentacles, definitely represents abundance. It represents a generous individual, someone who is caring, who is sensible. So if you are with someone who is in that manner, going back to the King of Wands, that's a positive thing for you. That relationship is breathing positivity into you and into the other individual as well. Interesting too, this illustration has the bear looking beyond the cave. So, and being behind the Nine of Pentacles, speaking of that financial stability, is there, again, something that you need to do to have your finances in a more sensible manner, used in a sensible manner, used in more of a stable way? Is there advice that you need to seek? Books you need to read? Articles, TED Talks, podcasts on financial stability, gain, financial strength. Next, we have the Queen of Cups. And with the Queen of Cups, we think of compassion. We think of that intuition. Interesting, the salmon is represented here. They know when they need to jump. They know they're swimming upstream. They know what direction to take. So maybe for you in your relationship, you've been denying your intuition, in a sense, your gut feeling. The Queen of Cups is here to say, don't do that. Don't deny that. There is strength, again, with the two queens. There is strength in listening to, reflecting upon your intuition. Also, with the Queen of Cups is that realm of honesty, communication. Is there a discussion you need to have? Do you need to be more open in your communication in the realm of love? Again, platonic, romantic, because we can love someone and it be platonic. We can care deeply for someone and it can still remain platonic. So again, friendships, relationships, close relationships as well. Next, we're going to look at some oracle cards. We have originality. The frequency of originality supports our capacity to be unique and original creators of unlimited possibilities in every moment. So this is a beautiful card, my friends. It could be that I didn't do it on purpose, but it is under that King of Bows, that individual will bring forth your creativity, will bring forth your original, your authentic self, will help you understand who you are, because you are unique, you are original. There is no one else like you on this earth. You deserve love. I'm sensing definitely, I see these blues and the greens, and when I think of the chakra, you know, our throat chakra, our heart is represented here through the greens. So you are deserving of love. The message is coming through very strongly. Maybe you think you don't, my friend. You do. You deserve love. When we look at the number 4 coming out of the 31, that is one of evolving. Again, of manifestation as well, that stability and structure. But what I'm sensing in the number 4 represented in this card is that desire or the need to evolve, continue to grow, continue to become that beautiful individual that you were meant to be. And that will open your heart and your mind to love, if you're in a romantic relationship, a deeper level of love and intimacy. Next we have 9, attraction. And it says the energy of attraction amplifies the qualities that attract and support us on our journey toward inner balance and harmony. So beautiful, right under the sun and the Hierophant, which again are of success, good fortune, happiness, confidence, really having stability. So if you are manifesting, continue to do so. You are bringing forth those qualities that you are seeking in a relationship. There is support being right under the major arcana as well, and the 2 being side by side. When we think of the number 9, it is one of fulfillment, one of fruition and attaining things. So continue forward, my friend, in that manifestation. And again, when we resolve that conflict, when we choose the compromise, when we choose to seek what brings that energy to life in our hearts, when we go inward, when we reflect, we are able to attract what it is our heart and soul is truly longing for. When we remain in all this, what I'm sensing is a ball of yarn, we often attract that into our lives, not just in our love lives, but in our lives. And I see these yellows and the purples and the blues. And when we think of the yellow, that's our solar plexus, which is confidence and being in control. So definitely continue to meditate and manifest. Next we have number 20, forgiveness. The energy of forgiveness strengthens our capacity to let go of unwanted feelings and emotions. It's a beautiful card. When we think of number 2, it is one of balance. It is one of union, partnership. So right off the bat in our tarot cards, messages of conflict, messages of whether it's inner conflict or someone else. Is it about winning? Are you under stress in your relationship? So is there a need to forgive? And forgiveness doesn't always have to be in a religious manner or sought in a religious way. Forgiveness is saying to the person, I choose to love you still. I choose to care about you still. Talking about your emotions of what happened, not denying those, but it's taking that step to repair the relationship. If you do look at it as in a religious realm, it is one of literally forgiving that person, because as the card said, it strengthens our capacity to let go of any unwanted feelings or emotions. So go back to that ball of yarn. Interesting that it came through with the card right prior, because this is our solution. Is acknowledging what happened, acknowledging the emotions, pain or hurt that may have been caused, and then choosing to let go of that unwanted energy, that unwanted feelings and emotions, and choosing to step forward with that person. You don't have to. Let me pause and clarify. It may be a situation in your relationship, again, platonic, romantic, work, family, that is too big or has done too much damage, and it would be unwise at this time to continue a relationship in the depth that you are. So let me clarify that. You have to make that choice for you. What forgiveness is for you. Again, letting go of that unwanted feelings and emotions, but it doesn't mean that you automatically have to restore that relationship just because you forgave. So that is my clarification on that. Next, we have breaking trail. A breakthrough is at hand. Wow. So if you look for confirmations or affirmations, this card is one. The oracle cards are one as well. And it's interesting that it comes under the 9 of Pentacles. Again, that meditation, that being willing to look inward, that willing to calm our mind, because there's a breakthrough at hand. It can also represent all the positivity that came through our tarot cards as well, that there is going to be a breakthrough in love for you, whether you are seeking it, you are manifesting it, whether you are currently in a relationship, there is a breakthrough that is coming. And it's interesting, this individual is harvesting the field. So I'm being reminded there may be a little bit of work that needs to be done, whether it's within you, whether it's together in a relationship. It needs to be done regardless so that that breakthrough can occur. Next, we have solitude. In silence, peace prevails. I'm not sure I need to say much more on that one, friends, because that message has definitely come through very strong. So, as it says, in silence, that calmness comes. There's peace that will prevail. And when we are centered, when we let go again of those unwanted emotions and feelings, we're able to bring our better self to the table in our relationships. And peace can prevail. When we're that ball of yarn and we're holding on to that grudge, we're holding on to that anger, peace isn't anywhere near that. And chaos is just going to continue in our relationships. So take that time. In silence, peace prevails. And our last card for our reading is Watching Clouds. Lie back, rest, and relax. Beautiful card there. All the colors of the chakra are represented as well, which represents balance, overall balance. So maybe you presented a question that, is it time in your relationship to take a trip? This card would support that. Lie back, rest, and relax. Maybe you're coming off of a trip that you were allowed to do that, and it doesn't have to be something big and expensive. It could be just a weekend away locally, or it could be a day trip. Maybe this is indicating that you do need it more often in your relationships, possibly for you before you enter into or you go back into a relationship or into the dating realm. Take that time to be content to the best of our ability at any given time, to be content in who we are and therefore what we can bring to the table. It's interesting too, there's a sailboat, so maybe you are going on a cruise in the down on the horizon there. Message that's coming through with that sailboat, it's a little bit opposite of the message here, but maybe the time has come to set sail. If you're in a relationship and you presented that question, that message, and it's interesting, it's at the end of the tarot or our reading as well, is very strong, friends. You can see that the sailboat, I hope it'll come through. I'll try to hold it. The sailboat is in a forward direction, leaving the shore, leaving what we think is comfortable, what we think is right. But have you listened to that intuition that came through early on in our tarot cards? Are you denying that intuition, that gut feeling? Are you denying the wisdom maybe that you've sought? And you're saying, nope, nope, I'm not going to go with that. Nope, nope, that's not it. That person doesn't understand. That person doesn't really know me and the other individual I'm with. Again, sailboat leaving. What we think may be the right thing, what we think may be the comfortable. Because again, there's so much positive that is there for us. But if we remain in a situation that isn't for our higher good, and I'm not putting blame on the other individual or the work situation or the family, but also for their higher good, if we remain in that, then we aren't able to have that peace, to have that positivity come through, to have that happiness. My eyes being drawn back to the heart there as well, the light coming through on the sun. Life, it says this is represented as the sun of life. Just that life energy, that life force that we have within us when we choose to move forward in a healthy manner. So you'll know if that is speaking to you, that last message that really was strong that came through. So my friends, I hope this information has been helpful. I hope that it has provided some insight. If there's any information that does not resonate, as I said at the outset, it is a general reading. Please feel free to let that go. If there are messages, signs, symbols that you asked at the beginning to be shown or seen for confirmation or affirmation, I would encourage you to continue to meditate on those things or think through those things as well. As always, friends, love and light to you.